Hi, I'm Ollie of Stigbergets Bryggeri, and this is the Brewer to Brewer podcast from All About Beer. Today, my guest is Marie Kusa, lead brewer of Omnipollo's church, and she's here for a conversation that goes beyond the brewhouse and into topics that matter to brewing professionals and curious beer drinkers. First, please visit allaboutbeer.com and follow up on social media at allaboutbeer. And support journalism in the beer space, check out allaboutbeer.com/support. We'll get into the conversation in just a moment, but first, this message.
Malteurop has long been a pillar of North American malting, and they're growing to meet the needs of the modern brewer. Their brand new warehouse expansion at the Winona, Minnesota Malt House marks a new chapter in their commitment to service and reliability. With increased capacity and optimized logistics at the Winona hub, Malteurop is delivering the quality you expect with the speed you need. Discover the Malteurop difference at malteuropmaltingco.com.
This episode is sponsored by John I. Haas on their new LupoCore Enhanced T90 hop pellets, engineered for peak sensory performance and ultimate peace of mind. Designed for brewers of all sizes, LupoCore delivers consistent sensory outcomes, reliable brewhouse performance, and scalable application across production volumes. Using Sensory Plus selected hops and Haas's advanced pellet processing technology, LupoCore elevates hop expression while reducing brew process loss, all without requiring brewers to change their process. Contact your Haas Sales Representative or visit lupohops.com to learn more.
What if the secret to a better batch of beer started before fermentation ever began? By understanding the way water chemistry impacts the sensory quality of finished beer, and by analyzing fermentation and other data, brewers can control sensory aspects of their product like never before. Sanos put together a free ebook that breaks down water chemistry fundamentals every brewer should know. No fluff, just the fundamentals. Download Water Chemistry for Brewers at senos.com. That's SENNOS.com.
Here's a story brewers know all too well. You walk into the brewery straight to the tank. You pull a sample to do a forced diacetyl test and you wait for it in silence. Something feels not quite right. You reach into the water bath and bring the flask to your nose, and it's a butter bomb. The logistics start running through your head. Do we hold the tank? We have accounts waiting. How many days until it clears? And then you wake up and remember that you use Berkeley Yeast Fresh Chico. It's got ALDC inside every cell, so diacetyl never forms in the first place. Through primary, through dry hopping and hop creep, diacetyl stays ultra low. So you don't have to add ALDC or wait for diacetyl to clean up. And most importantly, you don't have to wake up in a cold sweat worrying about production nightmares like these. Fresh Chico is now available in dried bricks for as low as $88 at berkeleyyeast.com.
Okay, welcome. I'm very pleased to have Marie Kusa here as my guest today.
Hi.
Hi, Marie. How's everything going?
I'm good, thanks.
Good. So, a bit on Marie. So, after graduating from brew school and spending 5 years in the US, Marie started her journey at Omnipollo back in 2019. While Omnipollo was still looking for their own physical brewery, Marie worked at the famous bar, Omnipollo's Hat, and helping to launch their beer garden, Omnipollo's Flora, and was mainly part of the team that built the Swedish sales distribution, all in anticipation of what was coming, the first brewery. Today, Marie Kusa is lead brewer at Omnipollo's church in Stockholm, managing the day-to-day brewing operations inside the coveted church brewery. Marie daily focuses on the craft of fermentation, turning the creative recipes into well-balanced beers, and at the church she brews everything from traditional styles to some of the more experimental beers, always with an emphasis on quality and never losing the fun and curiosity in the work of craft beer. For Marie, brewing is about continuous learning, respect for the ingredients, and contributing to a welcoming beer culture. So, Marie, I mean, I've got hundreds of things in my head I would like to hear you unload about, and I'm trying to think what best order to do it in. But I'd say one of the most interesting things as another brewer I always find is, because you lived in Portland.
Yes.
Portland,
Oregon.
Portland, Oregon, yeah. So how do you find the difference in the beer cultures between Portland, Oregon and Stockholm, Sweden, or perhaps Sweden at large?
Well, so I would say there's two different ways you can look at it. And one, if we look first, craft beer in general, like not looking as just a brewer. The craft beer community or the world is so much bigger and so much, what do you say? I feel like a lot more general people just know so much more about beer than in Stockholm and Sweden. And craft beer is older in the States. I would say the States are like at least 20 years ahead of us here in Sweden. So I think a big difference is that you can talk about beer in a way that you can't hear with pretty much anyone. You walk into a bar, you will see, for me as a woman, also, you will see a lot more women in Portland working in an industry, but also just enjoying beer. If you go to a brewery, to their tap room, any beer bar, and just it's so cool for me as a Swede to go there and see and like be able to talk in a higher level of professionality about beer, which was super cool. I would say that is a huge difference. And then when it comes to professionally brewing, I have mainly my experience from Omnipollo. So we have a very nice new brew system. And before Portland, I was doing a lot of internships at smaller breweries. I was in Gothenburg at Bibliotek. I was in Nya Carnegie in Stockholm, all very different. But my mainly is from our brewery, Omnipollo. So I don't really know where I want to go with that, but just just the my experience from Portland and brewing was that there was a lot of small breweries and hands-on. Also, the fact that every little brewery has a tap room, and you just like step out and you have a bar there and you can drink, which is very different from Stockholm and Sweden.
Yeah, because you guys probably might be one of the few breweries that actually has a tap room attached to the brewery.
Yeah, I would say it's us and like Nya Carnegie, also here in Stockholm. So that's not a big difference for me then.
Mm.
But it's just like I would say like the general look on beers and here I can't. I mean, I speak about Stockholm, but I feel like I generally speak about Sweden. So a lot of things you would recognize from even in Gothenburg. But also because the Swedish laws of alcohol is so strict. So I would say also a difference from like living in Portland. There will be more of like having a shift beer after work. It's a lot more common, whereas here in Sweden, I feel like it's a little bit taboo. You shouldn't be drinking too much. So so it's like I think Swedes in general have that in you, no matter what. It's like you should not be drinking and working. So, like for example, having a beer for lunch. I mean, it's just so rooted in a Swede that like you absolutely do not do that. If you go to Denmark, it's different. Their culture is super like different. And there it would be like you have to have a beer for lunch.
Yeah, I think Germany's like that as well, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
their
Yeah.
unions all guarantee them at least two drinks a day if you want.
Yeah. No, but I don't know. It's I might be like wandering around, so just stop me. But I think it really depends on where you are. But in Portland, I felt also it was very traditional. Being on the West Coast, when I was living there, the hazy was like kind of coming in, and most breweries in Portland didn't want to touch that. They were like, "No, we make clear West Coast IPAs, not this hazy stuff."
Yeah, it does seem from my last visit well, it's quite refreshing almost, isn't it? going somewhere where there isn't just 12 hazy IPAs and something else. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
there's a strong love of the old, of maybe even old school, but just a classic clear IPA.
yeah. I mean, it's also where like this is where you have all the pops, like on like Oregon, Washington. And so in terms of like raw materials and like getting that good stuff and having, I mean, the IPA, the West Coast IPA, that's where it's from. So
Mm.
of course they're proud of it, yeah, and that's where you drink the best of them as well. We all everywhere else try to mimic that and can't really get like really that tuned in. Where every time we're like, okay, it's almost, but like it's not really the same.
Yeah, oh no, I know that feeling well. It's like, oh, it's just not how, because I don't know about you, but I always feel like having, yeah, West Coast beers, West Coast style beers on the West Coast. Every little brewery seems to have nailed it, and you're like, how do they make it so effortless?
Yeah,
Like,
it's natural for them. It's just like in their body. They just say, yeah,
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 um, yeah. Funny we're speaking about West Coast because I know quite often. I know what one of our classic questions, isn't it, as brewers, is always what's your favorite style, and most typically will say something like, Pilsner or something more classic. But if I remember correctly, you are, in your own words, a hops gal.
yes. I always say I'm a hoppy girl because that's
Yeah,
true. I just love my hops. So generally, an IPA is like my to go. That's what I want to drink, and it could be any style of like both hazies and West Coast. I don't mind, and I like to variate them. I would say that right now in Sweden, at least in Stockholm, I don't know. You have to tell me if that's the same in Gothenburg, but in Stockholm, it's getting popular, or maybe it's just my Omnipollo world. But West Coast Pilsners are getting more and more popular right now, uh, and maybe called West Coast Pilsners. They were called something else, Imperial. What was it? IPL, the
yeah, oh
Imperial
yeah.
Pale. No, what does the IPL start? It stands for now.
I,
Like,
India Pale Lager, was it? India. Yeah,
yeah,
it was
something.
like half IPA, half lager.
Yeah, but we've that's like growing on me so much because it's drinkable, but still have like it's complex and have a lot of flavors, and especially with like the nice juicy fruity American hops. I just love it so much. So as a hoppy girl, I'm like loving that style a lot. And it's usually also lower ABV, so don't have to
You can
think
have
about
a
how
few.
to few. Yeah. So, but yeah, hops, hops, hops.
Yeah, because obviously, maybe not all our listeners know, but Omnipollo are, at least here in Sweden, uh, I mean, you're quite good at getting some killer collabs out to our market at least. And I was wondering how it's like, obviously, I often pick up your latest release at the Monopoly when it pops into our side of the country. But you must have a lot of, you've got maybe your set thoughts and processes for how you approach any style of beer. But how will all these collabs and bits, how does that impact your brewing, like your like core range and things? Do you take a lot of the ideas and move them over, or are a lot of these collabs kind of more, oh, it's kind of what we're already doing?
So yeah, I think that's it goes up and down in different ways. That's like a movement as well. And it used to, I would say like a few years ago, it was a lot like, okay, we do collabs, we speak maybe just you know, talking about little bits here and there, like what hops to use and whatnot. But I think also for us learning our brew system and like how we want to brew our beers on our system, we were kind of like, well, this is what works for us. And now we're so much more confident in what we have accomplished there, and like now we are definitely like just exploring, and these collabs are the perfect times to do that, because you can just do like small tweaks, of course, but we love to just try out stuff, and sometimes we just like, no, we know what we want to do, so we want to do it our way. But a lot of the times we just like have like super fun conversations, and just bouncing off each other. So we at Omnipollo, we have two different ways of collabing at the moment. We do a lot of collabs. We do, I would say, collabs every week, pretty much. Yeah, at least every other week there's a collab. I mean, sometimes it will be if we've sold it to the Aromatics, the Systembolaget, it will be several batches of the same collab. But we do one that is called Freaky Friday. And that's
yeah.
And so that's a collab with another brewery. But what we do is that we're just switching recipe. So we will make one of their like core beer, classic, famous beer, and they will do one of ours, and we just swap recipes. Just like poof, here is ours, and you do it. And of course, we all know that it's not going to taste exactly the same. Every brew system is different. You might not get the raw materials that are used.
Yeah.
Because of like supplier.
Ingredients.
For like working in Europe and then working with a brewery from the States, there will be like some different suppliers, and we try to get hold of everything that is possible, because it's always fun to try other supplier. But sometimes it's hard with the States, of course, to get it to Stockholm. So it's the Freaky Fridays, and then we have our normal collabs where we actually like talk about the recipes and do stuff. And sometimes they will do the same beer that we talk about over at their place, and sometimes it's just at ours. Sometimes they join us, they come, but a lot of times it's far away. People can't travel as much. After COVID, I definitely see a shift in that people are not traveling as much. Trying to keep the spending down as well, and talking like we do like this, or like emailing. You can get a lot of like inspiration from just doing that. So it's fun with the collabs. I mean, I'm very fortunate to be working with a brewery that does so many collabs, and get the chance to talk to so many brewers from all around the world. And it is such a cool experience, but also it inspires me a lot to try out like new stuff, things that I wouldn't have thought about.
Yeah. Have you ever had a moment like when you're chatting the collab and things ahead of time where another brewer will tell you like, okay, and we do this like process or this bit this way, and you've just kind of gone, what? Like you get real thrown off for a second.
No, I don't think so. Though we've had a question of like, I don't think this brewery had done it themselves, but they had an idea, and they were coming to us to do 3 collabs, and there was a question of doing 100% oat stout, and then I was like, nope.
That moment of, oh wait, I have to launch this. Not suddenly, not sure I'm into that.
I was like, well, we've also before, so we've been brewing at the church for 5 years now, going into 6.
Time flies.
Yeah, and so before that, Omnipollo was brewing at other breweries for 10 years, and been, going to other breweries for collabs and making them doing all these weird stuff. So it's like, we want to do this, we want to do that, and now it's payback time.
Mm.
Like, so we've been hosting, and this is the reason why we're hosting and doing so many collabs, because finally now we can do them. But that of course we do get the weird questions where we like have to think. Some of them is like, yeah, let's try it out, let's just be crazy. But that is actually the only time that I've said no, because I'm like, we're going to break our system. It's a nice system, I want to keep it as it is.
For as long as possible, at least.
Yeah, exactly. Let's not break it down.
No, I mean it's I think the collabs are always a fun one because I know we've pinched lots of like tips and tricks off people where I guess they're just good ways of really kind of, because you can get a bit like, tunnel vision, doing things like, oh, this is the way we have to do things, and suddenly someone has an idea and you're like, there's no reason we couldn't do that, but I just wouldn't have thought about that.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. And I mean, it goes both ways, obviously.
Mm.
And doing these, because it's just like one a one-off, so you can do stuff that you wouldn't do yourself, because it's just one time. If it doesn't go well, it's like, okay, well, we're not going to do that again.
Yeah.
Because if you're just doing your own core beer all the time, you might not be as what's the word, like,
Adventurous.
yeah, exactly, yeah. It's like you stick on your lane to do, because you do what works. So yeah.
So of the last year, what would you say is like probably your favorite of these collabs? Because I mean, I think with maybe not favorite, but one that was particularly memorable. Because I think it's one thing we obviously, we do our fair share of not quite as many as you guys, and I do. It has been obviously a switch to the digital a lot more, which in some ways makes it easier. But like, I always appreciate being in someone's brewing space. It's all good having a chat when you can kind of see in action. I think you do learn a hell of a lot. But yeah, of the last year or so of collabs, is there any one that's been particularly memorable, or just are they all as special as each other?
No, I mean, I would say, as you say, like when you actually get to brew together and be there, those collabs makes it more different. They're more memorable as well, because you have memories together, like face to face, doing this. I mean, for me, a lot of these collabs, I'm not the one making them happen. That's Henok, obviously. And he knows so many more brewers around the world, and brewers. So for me, when they come to the church to brew, is most of the times it's the first time I meet them, and I didn't know them before. So gained so many new friends, of course, through that. But also, yeah, definitely more memorable. And I definitely have one or two that I will cherish and think about. Sorry. So we are doing different collabs. We do collabs with super small breweries from the States that, like, some of them have, when we do the first collab, they're in a garage pretty much, and then they become bigger and bigger. But then also we have been doing some quite big collabs. We did two last year, or in the past 2 years, I would say. One was with Bitburger, and Budvar, Czech brewery. And I think those two are like, I think about them a lot because they were maybe not expected from people. Because
No, when I saw it on the social media, I was like, how have they wrangled that?
yeah. Those were huge, and it was also fun because easier because it's in Europe. They both collabs, they were there, and sometimes you like when you meet them for the first time, you don't know how they're gonna be. So like the brewmaster from Bitburger was there, and it's a big deal, Bitburger, and he was the sweetest guy and just so lovable and had such a great time with him, and it's so special. Bitburger was also like my shift beer when I started working in a bar like 15 years
Mm.
ago. It would always be my shift beer after my shift. So and that was very special, 100%. So and also they were, we blew the big food budvar. That was also so much fun. We got to they taught us how to pour the different kinds of the mliko, and I don't know what they're all called.
The
Uh,
Sledinka, and yeah.
Yeah, Mliko, and obviously how to chug the foam beer.
Mm.
They came and they built like their own little bar, like a outside, and yeah, it was just so special. So those were really really fun. But they're all like I cherish them all very much, and I would say that was like a fun experience, like having them there and like talking about lagers, because that may be
Mm.
not something that we do that much. We do a lot of lagers, and think people maybe don't know that, but that was one of our main goals almost when we open the brewery. We have a Braukon brew system, made for brewing lagers, but they've specifically built this for us, so we can do our big bold beers. When the whole German team was there building it, they were always like just shaking their head. We're like, we're gonna do this, and they were like, you are crazy. No, what? You can't do this.
That is
um,
not Schweinheischgebot.
yeah, they just thought we were crazy the whole time. But yeah, one of our goals that we wanted to check off, that's like we want to make really really good lagers, and I myself believe that we do. We just won a big huge tender at Systembolaget
Oh,
here in Sweden. So now we have one of our lagers like always at Systembolaget, the liquor store here in Sweden, all around, all over Sweden. And I love the beer and I love making that beer, so super happy about that. But yeah, then
uh,
obviously then it's all our other beers as well. Our double IPAs, hazy double IPAs is like that's our jam. I mean,
bread and it's like your bread and butter almost, isn't it?
yeah. And then it's the stouts, and then it's the sours, the fruit. Oh yeah, it's
It's like picking
it's a
favorite
lot.
kids. So I think we will just take a short break for this message and then come right back for more of this conversation with Marie Kusa of Omnipollo's Church.
Consistency matters, especially when scaling hop-forward brands. That's why Haas developed LupoCore, a next-generation pellet solution designed to provide superior finished beer character alongside dependable brewhouse performance. By combining enhanced pellet technology with carefully selected Sensory Plus hops, LupoCore helps brewers achieve reliable aroma expression and reduce process loss from batch to batch. It's a seamless upgrade for breweries looking to improve hop quality while maintaining operational simplicity. Learn more at lupohops.com.
It's here. Berkeley's Fresh Chico is now available dry. So many of the brewers I talk to these days choose Fresh Chico as their house strain because of how clean and versatile it is. If you want to make world-class IPA, your fermentation has to be ultra clean. That's why brewers have been turning to Berkeley yeast, because it is the only place you can get robust low diacetyl technology. That means healthy and highly viable cells that ferment fast and clean every time. At Berkeley Yeast, we worked long and hard to bring you Fresh Chico in a dried format. Now, Berkeley is the only place you can get next-generation technology in dried yeast. Period. And with bricks priced as low as $88 plus free shipping, diacetyl reduction has never been so cost-effective. Head over to berkeleyyeast.com and start leveling up your IPA today.
Malt Europe has long been a pillar of North American malting, and they're growing to meet the needs of the modern brewer. Their brand new warehouse expansion at the Winona, Minnesota Malt House marks a new chapter in their commitment to service and reliability. With increased capacity and optimized logistics at the Winona hub, Malt Europe is delivering the quality you expect with the speed you need. Discover the Malt Europe difference at malteuropemaltingco.com.
What if the secret to a better batch of beer started before fermentation ever began? By understanding the way water chemistry impacts the sensory quality of finished beer, and by analyzing fermentation and other data, brewers can control sensory aspects of their product like never before. Sanos put together a free ebook that breaks down water chemistry fundamentals every brewer should know. No fluff, just the fundamentals. Download Water Chemistry for Brewers at senos.com. That's SENNOS.com.
Oh, and welcome back. So we were just chatting about collabs and all the kind of fun bits. And as you mentioned earlier, you're a hoppy gal. This is one of my what I always do love asking other brewers when you come to meet them. Like, hey, if you can only brew with 3 hops for the rest of your career,
Whew.
or maybe what 3 would they be and why?
Yeah. Okay, so my first one is very easy, and that's Citra. Citra. I love Citra. We love Citra. I just love how it's simple but not simple. It has so much flavor, so much aroma, but in a delicate, nice way, and gives a good haze as well. So yes, and just such a good base hop. So that's definitely going in every beer if I have to brew with just one. And then, I mean, okay, it's gonna be. So I'm just gonna pick 3. Okay, Ollie.
Yep.
So that's 1, and then I'm gonna go with another American, and that's gonna be Simcoe. And then the third is going to be New Zealand hop, and that's going to be Nelson. So, I mean, Simcoe and Citra together goes super, super well. Will make all the beer very drinkable, chuggable. But then the Nelson will give it some like character and give it some a little bit of more hefty.
As we say, a bit of arsehole.
Is that you as an Englishman or?
Yeah, English people. That's a classic phrase we use a lot.
Yeah, those would be my 3 ones. Yeah, for sure. I'm not very. I'm a basic bitch. Can I say that? Sorry.
I mean, I wouldn't say so. I mean, I think I'd agree with you generally on the pick because I think pretty much all of those hops you could use and still make like trad-based styles or other ones effectively, but you can't always use trad hops the other way around, if you get me.
Yeah.
So sometimes I think your selection does make more sense.
I mean, and it's we recently had Dolcita in one of our beers from it was from Giacomo. The hop, very, very nice and very different, I would say, from any hops that we've used before. It gave it like a really sweet, punchy, like punch, not punchy, like punch, sweet punch. And it was perfect because we were brewing a beer that had peach gummies, like candy.
Oh yeah, the gummy rings kind of thing.
Yeah, I think peach melba, I think they're called, and it's in every pick and mix candy in Sweden in the stores. So we brewed with that, and then got a tip from Robert from Yakima about how Dolcita has really like a peach front
note.
Yeah. So we tried it out, and it worked out really well. And it for that beer, it was like perfect. So that was fun.
I mean, the new we haven't, other than when we're out in Yakima brewing with Bale Breaker, we haven't had used Dolcita before. I think it might be the first new Mexicanus that I actually do like. Most of the new Mexicanus range, they always have that coconutty.
Yeah.
Uh, it's like artificial coconut, like the sun you get on suntan lotion and things. I just can't agree with it. But Dolcita didn't have it, which I did
Yeah,
like.
I agree. But it was like on the verge of there. Like it's like almost there, but it wasn't. It was, yeah. No, super nice. Strata also.
Mm.
We did West Coast Pilsner with 100% Strata. Really amazing. Yeah. I mean, we can talk about hops all day, about juicy hops, but no, yeah. Like, and also like the classic ones. They're classic for a reason, and they're all loved for a reason because they just work. They just work with alone. They work, yeah, with each other. Yeah, it's just good.
Do you, yes, do you find the same? We run into a little bit of an issue where, like, for our specials and one-offs, we want to play around with some different hops, and customer feedback is often positive, but it's like, yeah, but it's just not as good as their other ones. It's like it's just because we haven't used Citra Mosaic, isn't it? Like it feels like no matter like, any beer that ends up becoming really popular has to always contain at least Citra or Mosaic.
Yeah, I mean, but I think we do because we know that it is such a good base. And then for these collabs, it's like then you can. I mean, it's tough to pick a hop that you don't really know that much and just go like all in on that. But yeah, to just have Citra as a base and then add whatever hops you want, like you haven't tried. I think that's like the best way to brew and to try it out with these.
Yeah, it's a good yeah, it just kind of just goes with everything, which is nice and like it's stress free. I find if you kind of work, you want to like test out a new hop,
Yeah.
pair it
Also,
with
because yeah, because you know the Citra, and so adding something else that you don't know, then you can easier tell like what that did to the beer, rather than like trying out three different kinds of hops that you've never tried before, and then you don't really know what does this hop do. So if you try it out with something that you know, then you
mm,
can, oh, this brought this flavor out. I don't know, and it's more noticeable, I think.
yeah, no, I agree with you wholeheartedly there. Um, I think it's one like, do you oh God, sorry, my brain just kind of did that thing where it ran really forward and just stopped hard. Do you um are you guys shopping around a lot for new? Because I know with Yakima's like FWD program and bits, they have a lot of these more either economically or environmentally viable like trial strains. Are you playing around with a lot of those at the moment, or is it sticking more to the tried and trusted?
I would say more try and trusted. We get to select our lot as well.
Mm,
So we focus on selecting something, well, a few, like maybe 4 or 5 kinds that we will run through all year. And it's quite a lot. So we got to make sure that we use that. And then I think it is when we do collabs that we try to, and we do a lot of collabs with Yakima. We've been doing collabs with Freestyle hops. So that's when we usually do those experimental and try, and usually it's asking them, it's like, what do you think we should like try out,
mm.
and you think would go with like our brand and what we do, but also be something different. What do you want to showcase? And so I think that's how we work, but we are very very classic, and we go with what we know, I would say.
What because I do try and keep up, but I haven't managed to keep up with every new double IPA and IPA and bits that you guys are chucking out. What would you say is the one you're most proud of? This, like, we'll give it back in about the last year or so.
Yeah. So I would say it's a new one that we are about to release. We did a collab with Lyric Brewing from Denver, Other Half from New York, and Tall Trees from Portland, Oregon. And we had them all work here in Stockholm, so that was awesome, super fun. So also just a fun collab as well to get to hang out with everyone. And in my opinion, is the tastiest, the best double IPA we've done, like in 5 years. It is kind of hard. I tend to say this a lot. This is the best one. This is the best one. But it's because you're developing everything. You are actually making things better. You are learning during that journey. So it would be weird if they didn't, taste better. But this time around we've been working hard at the moment for this like past 6 months, a year, working really hard on making softer double IPAs. It's hard to find like a way where you can please everyone. We have a lot of fans, and we have a lot of tickers that wants to like drink all of our beers. We have those who really love hop burns, and then we have those who doesn't. But we've definitely, because we've been like using a lot of hops, and it's been like they've been maybe not drinkable like from like day one, and then it takes a little while, and then they're like super drinkable like after a month. But we kind of, now we're working on like trying to find a way to drink, like we want them to be soft and nice. You want to almost like you want to chug a double IPA, which you shouldn't, because you get drunk. But
Well, if it's just the one, you'd be fine.
But just like that feeling where like you just want to take another gulp of it. It's like, because it's so good. And so we've been working a lot like with salts and dry hop methods and treatments. It's like all kinds of stuff, and we're just dialing it in forever. And I feel like for the last 6 months, like every new one has been like, oh, this is really good, and this is really good, and this is like better. And this one, it's called Dream Baby Dream. And I don't know when it's coming out, because I'm just a brewer, so I don't know those things. But if you see it, you need to buy it. I think it's great. We also been experimenting with Hopkeef from Freestyle. Really like the Hopkeef, but we've also been using them in different ways, like in different parts of the process. And so that's also been fun to just see like what happens if we put it here, what happens if we put it here. And so this beer just like turned out great. It's a beautiful beer. So Dream Baby Dream collab with Lyric, Tall Trees, and Other Half. Go get it.
I'll keep an eye out. So you mentioned Hopkeef. That's actually was. So now we've been playing around quite a lot with these new advanced hop products. I think is the industry term, or what Yakima says, or whoever. Are you guys playing around a lot with those as well, or?
Yeah, I would say that's like flowables, like in all forms. Like you have the, if we talk about Yakima, it's like the Dyna Boost. You have the Hyper Boost. And like using them in different parts, like in the whirlpool, or straight into the tank, or like in the dry hop, or do you want to put it like straight before, like right before packaging? There's always like this guideline, like this is how you should use it. But then
Mm.
you're like, what if we do it this way? And then you try it out. And this is one thing that we did with the Dream Baby Dream, I feel like, and then it turned out really well. And no, we definitely are playing around with that for sure.
Yeah, I think it is fun because I know as we were chatting earlier, because that's one of those with these advanced products that like I think collabs are great because I was very much like tunnel vision, like, oh, it says put in Whirlpool, only put in Whirlpool. And I think it was chatting to someone, I can't remember who exactly, but they were like, oh, we use it this way. I was like, genius. There's no reason you can't, it's not illegal. We can
Yeah.
do what we want with it.
No, and it's funny how you sometimes get like, so you read like the instructions, like this is how you should use it. And then someone else says, well, I use it this way and it turned out well. And then it is always a little bit, I have a hard time. It's like, no, but that's not how you should use it. But
The instructions say this.
exactly. And so, and it takes a little while where I'm like, okay, but yeah, let's just try it. And then, yeah, of course, it's like, it's great.
Yeah, it's yeah, I don't know if there's similar as me. You just have that kind of thing where it's like, but the rules say otherwise. You almost
Oh
feel
yeah.
like
I mean,
naughty or you're not allowed.
that's a really Swedish thing also. We follow all the rules. It's like if there's a sign, do this, and we're like, yes, let's do that.
Mm. But that's though on like say a similar-ish topic. But so when you've got all your guests, and well, I assume after brew day, obviously they're going to have a drink and bits in a tap. But where else do you classically take if you're going to show someone for a good pint in
Yeah.
Stockholm? Where do you
Yes.
typically take the guests coming?
Perfect. We definitely have a route where we're taking our guests, and this is a good. Now it became like a little Stockholm. Would you say trip advice?
Yeah, Trip Advisor.
Yeah. No, so I mean, obviously, we'll take them to our own
Mm.
bars. Um, since we've been brewing and hanging out the church at the tap room, we want to get out of the church, and I mean, a stop that we have to do is Omnipollo's Hut, our first bar
Mm.
that we opened up even before our own physical brewery. Super. I mean, also. We try to like not have all the same beers at our bars, so
Mm.
like you can go to all the bars and drink different beers. We focus on different kinds of beers in some of the bars as well. And then if it's summer, we would definitely take them to Omnipollo's Flora. That's our beer
Mm.
garden in the park. Super. It's only open during the summer. If it's raining too much, it will close down. So if it's a nice sunny day, it's the perfect place to be. And then if we're thinking about non-Omnipollo bars, we often take them to Akkurat.
Mm.
That has like a really good range of, I would say, Swedish craft beer. It's really nice place to showcase Swedish craft beer from all over Sweden. But also a lot of like Belgian styles, sours, and it's just really good range and a classic bar. And then some franziskaner for lagers.
Oh, I love some friends.
Yeah, so like if and I mean most brewers want to drink lagers, especially when they've been drinking 15% stouts and lots of double IPAs at the church. The next stop will be some franziskaner for some lagers. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, it's a Monday for us, and I'm already salivating for the weekend.
I'm on vacation, so I can definitely have a beer after this.
Oh, well, you don't let me stop you.
No.
So what do you think? Do you, because obviously with living 5 years in Portland, um, do you think Stockholm's got? Is it more fun to drink in Stockholm, or do you miss the Portland bar crawls like the dive bars and breweries and
Definitely miss the Portland bar culture. No, Stockholm. It's great for going out, but it's not a lot. It's very concentrated. So if you are, I mean, it is easy to just go to the South Island, Södermalm, and go to that's where mainly all the craft beer bars are. So, but that's pretty much it. I don't think it's not that much, and we don't have that many breweries here in Gothenburg where you are. There's a lot of more breweries, and more. I feel like a lot of breweries are in Gothenburg are opening their own bars as well now. So that's fun. We're not really there here in Stockholm yet because either the breweries are a lot like very small, or it is like the bigger ones. I mean, I don't know where we are maybe considered as the bigger ones, though not maybe in volume of how much we produce, but then we have like Nya Carnegie, who's owned by Carlsberg. So I mean, obviously bigger, but they at least they have the brewery and tap room like right there.
Yeah.
So no, Portland was awesome in that way because there was, I mean, a brewery around every corner that has a tap room, and just it's just so easy. Just walking around. Yeah, you don't have to make a pub crawl. You don't have to, you know, you can just pick one area and then you're like,
Yeah.
Yeah. But also, the dive bars are great. Also that all the dive bars, they have like still great beers. If you go to a dive bar in Sweden, in Stockholm, they would not have good beer at all.
No, that is a shame here. It doesn't have the same, like, I don't know about you, if you're the same as me, but you can go to like, oh, that's a nice looking bar, and they just have like the bad macro on tap. You're like, for God's sake, come on, it's not that hard. Just put a nice beer on.
Exactly. Just one. Come on. No, but absolutely. No, I miss Portland a lot, in that sense.
Which remind me, which was your go-to dive bar?
In Portland?
Yeah.
I mean, it would be Florida room.
Oh yes, yeah, I remember now.
Florida, as we would say, because we lived not too far from there, and so we had Florida room, perfect, and then not far from there, it's Cerveza, which is like one of the best craft beer bars, I would say, in Portland. One of my favorites.
No, I say it's not long. Are you heading out for harvest this year or?
Henokis.
Henokis.
Yeah. So yeah, are you going out? Are you going there?
I will be, yes.
Yeah.
But
then maybe we'll see Henok. Yeah. No, we're going for sure.
no, it is I can definitely see every time I visit how you could eat, want to live and stay there.
Yeah, for sure.
What beer do you miss most from Portland then, of the craft beers, or actually either or?
Yeah. I mean, it's as a style is the West Coast IPAs, and I had Barley Browns was a brewery like east of Oregon, like almost as east as you can get in Oregon, and they had an IPA which I don't remember what it's called now, which is annoying, but it was like my favorite of all time, and a lot of bars in Portland would have it as well. But that brewery was great, and they did amazing West Coast IPAs. And then obviously, okay, this is not from Portland, but Pliny the Elder, because Cerveza, my bar, my local bar, they would have like pretty much all the time have that on tap, and drinking, Pliny the Elder fresh, like out of a big pint glass. Yeah, tremendous, so good.
I love how that beer is both like an international, like all beer nerds and brewers know of it, but the second you go to where it, really not exactly to where it's made, but just close enough, and it's like pretty readily available and like a perfectly just normal beer.
Yeah, I also love how they serve it in like big pints. And I don't know the ABV exactly on it, but it's quite strong.
I think it's over 8 or something. I'm pretty
I think
certain.
it is. Yeah, I think it is. But I think that's just how you serve it, and I love it.
Yeah, I mean, well, to be fair, you can clear off a pint. That's the probably part of the reason.
No, exactly. Yeah, and then it is. I just had Henok brought one because he was in Portland not that long ago for Brewhouse festival. He had like I think an
Mm.
anniversary. So he brought home some beers, and he brought me a Pliny the Elder, and I had it, and
Oh,
it was actually a little bit different from when I used to drink it. Like 10 years ago, 8 years ago. But yeah, such a crushable, drinkable beer. Like, yeah, so good, so good.
well, mentioned earlier because you say obviously you're always brewing the collab, the dippers and bits and pieces. Is there anything you've been wanting to brew but haven't had chance to brew for a while?
Yeah, I mean, some more traditional styles maybe that if we were doing this like 6 months ago, I
Mm.
would probably say more like West Coast Pilsners, but now we've been brewing a lot of them, so I'm happy. But there are we did a dry stout, like a low ABV dry stout, just one, and it was most likely, I don't remember it. It might have been for a tender, and that just turned out so great and so good. And it's just like such a nice style to just drink whenever. You can drink it when it's hot out, when it's cold out.
Mm.
It's when you're thirsty, and yeah, when you have been drinking too many strong beers and you need something lighter. It's like just such a good style. And that's, yeah, I would want to brew that more. It's also like not a traditional Omnipollo style, I would say. So, but I do hope we get to brew something like that, or like a mild, like something
Now you're
like,
speaking my language.
yeah. I mean, it would be super fun to do some sort of mild, or that, yeah, and put on cask, and like have it like cask ale,
Ooh.
the draft, like the proper. I just don't know if we have all the equipment to actually do that. But that would be super fun, because that's something like when I go to Akkurat, the bar here in
Mm.
Stockholm, because they have the proper. I would always go there, and that's the first thing I drink there is cask ale. I was in London in October, and like my mission was to drink as many cask ales as I could.
It's always my mission when I go back home. It's the biggest thing I miss. I'm my family, obviously, but cask ale is the oh
Yeah,
God, I love that stuff.
yeah,
Uh,
that would be fun.
but if you need a beer engine hookup, let me know because I know a guy who imports a lot of the stuff over, so I can hook you up if you need a proper hand pull for the Omnipollo tap room.
Sweet, yes.
Right. So I think that's us at about time. So thank you so much for your time, Marie. And
Thanks.
Marie will be back on the next episode of this show as the host, having a conversation with a brewer of her choosing. That'll be on the air next week, so make sure you tune in for that. Just a reminder, visit allaboutbeer.com and follow us on social media at allaboutbeer. To support journalism in the beer space, check out allaboutbeer.com/support. A reminder that I'm Ollie of Stigbergets Bryggeri, and thank you for listening to the Brewer to Brewer podcast.
What if the secret to a better batch of beer started before fermentation ever began? By understanding the way water chemistry impacts the sensory quality of finished beer, and by analyzing fermentation and other data, brewers can control sensory aspects of their product like never before. Sanos put together a free ebook that breaks down water chemistry fundamentals every brewer should know. No fluff, just the fundamentals. Download Water Chemistry for Brewers at senos.com. That's SENNOS.com.
Today's brewers need hops that perform consistently, from pilot scale to full production. LupoCore was engineered to meet that challenge, delivering enhanced sensory performance, reliable dosing, and scalable brewing efficiency in an easy-to-use T90 format. Backed by Haas innovation and sensory expertise, LupoCore helps breweries create impactful hop character with confidence and control. Reach out to your Haas Sales Representative or visit lupohops.com for more information.
Tim Shasha from Berkeley Yeast here. When I was the director of brewing at Cellarmaker, there was a time when I was really wrestling with hop creep and diacetyl. I'd be dumping liters of ALDC into the tank, at knockout, at dry hop, before cooling, just hoping that it would work. Sometimes it did, sometimes it didn't. That's when I reached out to my friends over at Berkeley Yeast. I was like, why don't you just put the ALDC in the yeast? And the next thing I knew, Fresh Chico was born. Just like that, all my hop creep woes were gone, which was really cool. But an even bigger thing I noticed is that when I switched, all my beers were popping more. And that's when I figured out that diacetyl doesn't just mean butter. It was also dulling the brightness and intensity of my hops, masking those flavors even when D was below threshold. For me, Fresh Chico was a life changer. And now that you can get it dry, it's easy to use and competitively priced. It's the full package. Find out more at berkeleyyeast.com.
Malt Europe has long been a pillar of North American malting, and they're growing to meet the needs of the modern brewer. Their brand new warehouse expansion at the Winona, Minnesota Malt House marks a new chapter in their commitment to service and reliability. With increased capacity and optimized logistics at the Winona hub, Malt Europe is delivering the quality you expect with the speed you need. Discover the Malt Europe difference at malteuropemaltingco.com.